Hello. Hey guys. So, here's what we have today as I figure out how to make that work. Today is blackout poetry. And some of you may have done blackout poetry before, some of you may have not, but here's the basics of how blackout poetry works. You take a page out of, say, a random book. This is a random book that I found at the bottom of a bookshelf. And you take out a random page. This is mostly random. This is like the third time that I have attempted to record this, and halfway through each time I went, oh, there's a thing that's a little inappropriate that I shouldn't put on this paper in there for the children, so I had to start over. So hopefully I haven't, because I've just kind of glanced at it, because I want to make sure that this is like on, this is off the cuff, just like how it's going to be a little bit with you guys. So I've taken this page out of this book. It's a book that I don't think I've ever read it. I might have way back in the day. I think I got it for like 9 cents at a book sale once. And it's just sat on the bookshelf in my room for a really long time, and I don't think anybody's ever read it in there. So instead of it taking up space and not being useful when I have a book like this, and as far as I can tell, I was reading through it, I also don't think it's very good. I like to turn these things into something fun, and that's where blackout poetry comes in. So the way blackout poetry works is you eliminate the needless words on a thing and find a poem. The way that I generally start with this is I start running through it and I find some words or some phrases that are interesting. And I will circle those things and see if I can do something with them. See if I can find a connection between them. Sometimes off to the side of the page, on another piece of paper, I'll write down ideas of connections that I have to help me flesh things out. And then once I have a few of these things circled, and I have a few ideas and some connections between things, I start finding words that I can use to connect those ideas, and to write out a thought or an idea or a musing or just something that's basically a poem. And then I go through and I cross out or take a Sharpie and I black out everything that's not needed. And I don't know how long this will be, and I don't know what this is going to be about. I have no clue. Those of you at home, here's how you can do this. If you too have a book that you can take a piece of paper out of and it's not going to cause an issue, go ahead and do that. Or if you don't want to destroy a book, print off something off the internet. It could be a book, it could be an instruction manual, it could be the news, it can be pretty much anything. Most of the time you can find something in these. Sometimes I'll go through it and I'll get stuck and I'll be like, I had an idea, but then I can't make anything come out of it, and I get a new one and I start over. And that's fine, that happens. But most of the time I can find something in there that I like. Or at least it's kind of interesting, or that is better than what I had before, which is nothing. And I play around with it. So you can do that. If you don't want to print a thing, you could also do this just as a Google Doc. Just set the background highlighting color to black and then highlight the words that you don't want, and it will cross them out. What will be left is words. So, I don't really know what this story is about. It seems like end of the world apocalypse trying to stay alive type story. I might have bought it like when I was big into The Walking Dead or something. I went, oh, an apocalypse story, yay. But like I said, I'm not sure I've ever actually read this. So I'm going to go through here. I'll probably fast forward through a bunch of things, and you'll get to kind of see my process as I'm going. First thing I'm going to look for are interesting words or interesting phrases that I might be able to work with. Something that might stand out to me. And I'm just going to circle them so I can get back to them. Okay. So I've gone through, I don't have any real connections yet. I just kind of circled and underlined some things that I found interesting. So this idea of breakfast, I had breakfast yesterday. Okay. Ooh, Ponzi was away. Alright. I think the first word I want to use is yesterday. I feel like I'm going to tell a story. Yesterday, Ponzi was away. Oh, yesterday I was away. Ooh, I like that. Yesterday I was a bit away. Kind of just like that. Yesterday I was away. We was here only a couple days. Find what I'm doing this. I don't really know what I'm saying until I find it. And I kind of have a basic idea here. And so I'm just crossing things out and hopefully it turns into something. So far here's what I got. Yesterday I was away. He was only here a couple days, Grace. Birthdays aren't anything nowadays. But he set it up as a surprise the minute he was back, made a present of it. I'm not exactly sure where this is going, but I'll get it. It's got dark. Alright. Here's the thing. I didn't know where this was going to go. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't go in a dark place, but it kind of went in a dark place. And not my favorite one. If I had time, I'd probably do a second one, but it's getting a little late. And I need to make this video. So, that's a thing about these. A lot of them are trial and error, and sometimes you find something and you go, dang, that was really good. And sometimes you go, eh. This one I kind of feel, eh, about. I'm not a real big fan of this one, but that's kind of the goal here is to play around with it. It's also why today's assignment is do one of these, and if you want to do a second one, you can for extra credit because of the nature of them. Sometimes you come up with something great, and sometimes you come up with something where you go, So, here's what I came up with. Yesterday, I was away. We was here only a couple days. Yes, I know birthdays aren't anything nowadays, but he set it up as a surprise. The minute he was back, he made a present of her. You're telling me she found out what had been done, and all I can say is she's a dear. And Jessica, she doesn't mind. Just her pet. And she loves it, hopped up on this tranquilizer. So, I think I wrote a thing about a person buying another person, which is not what I wanted to do, but it is what came out of this. This was originally a thing. I think one of the reasons is this page apparently has a thing about slavery in it. This feels like a story where people can buy each other. So that kind of came out. I thought this was going to be about breakfast at first, because I had this whole thing about breakfast, but I couldn't find any connections. And the connections I found here were all kind of these things that connected this idea of like a person being made as a gift to somebody else. Not my happiest of poems, and not one where I'm like, I feel really good about this one. But it is one that kind of makes me think. I like what pulls it together. I like the last line, hopped off on this tranquilizer. It's a little sloppy. I was trying to speed up on this. Anyway, this is what I came up with. Maybe yours will be better. Probably yours will be better. This is, I'm not incredibly pleased with it, but that's fine. That's kind of what happens with these things. So your job, do one of these. Send it to me. If it's awesome, cool. If it's not awesome, fine. See if you can find connections. The whole thing about this, and a lot of what we've been doing, is making connections. Seeing how everything works together. Seeing where you piece things together. The strain I saw on this thing was this idea of someone being a servant and being okay with it, because I got to this empire and I had hopped up on tranquilizers, and that's the thing that kind of pulled it together. And I might even get away. I loved this line. Yesterday I was away. But if I get rid of that and I do this and I say, Grace, yes, I know birthdays aren't anything nowadays, but he set it up as a surprise. The minute he was back, made a present of her. That makes it better. If I get rid of that first part, it makes it better. And that's another thing that happens sometimes. I thought all this, I loved that first line of, yesterday I was gone. I was, that thing, but it doesn't fit. And so I had to get rid of it, which is kind of one of my rules of writing, which is kill your darlings. You'll all sometimes have these things where you're like, I love this. This is a really cool line. But then it gets in the way. I got rid of that, and now it seems better. The minute he was back, he made a present of her. He said it was a surprise. And now, I'm going to get rid of that. Made a present of her. Then I'm going to... You were telling me she found out what had been done, and all I can say is that she is a dear and just grand. She doesn't mind. This was, I crossed the word out here, just her pet, and she loves it. Hopped on this tranquilizer. Yeah, so this wouldn't work at all, but that last line kind of pulls it together. Like I said, it's not a very happy poem. It's kind of a morbid poem. But it was the connection I found. And I like how, as I went through it, and I read it a couple times, and I cut a couple things out, I feel like that's a better poem than it was when I first finished it. That's how writing works. You can edit things. And if I didn't like it, I mean, I could start over and do it again, do another one. Sometimes you can turn the page over and something will have happened. He'll be cut off his arms and legs, then start... Nope. Backside doesn't make any sense. So that's what I came up with. Make your own. Like I said, you can do this way. You can print something off. You can do this as a Google Doc. If you do it as a picture, take a picture, beep, and send that to me. If you do it as a Google Doc, send me the file. And if you do more than one, I'll give you some extra credit. Maybe you'll find that this is the thing that you really, really enjoy. And maybe you'll find that this is the thing that's really hard for you. And that those two things can be true. I find this difficult, but I also find it fun. It makes my brain, I have to work, I have to think, I have to work my way through it. And sometimes they come out very, very easily, and sometimes they're hard to come, they don't come out very easily. And sometimes things are going to go one way, and then they go another way. And sometimes I'm not trying to create something morbid, and something morbid and disturbing comes out of it. And sometimes I'm looking for something silly, and something silly comes out of it. It's kind of weird how all of it works. You might want to do something. The one problem I have with this is, see how many words are on this page? You might want to do something that's a little smaller, a little bigger text, because as I was marking things off, there were a couple words that I kind of I got a little bit and just made it so it wasn't very clear. Anyway, I think that's about it. I hope you guys are having a good last week. That you're staying all caught up, that you're not feeling too super overwhelmed, and that, summer's almost here. Hopefully it'll be somewhere around kind of a little bit, maybe a tiny bit more normal. See you later.